Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we're back again with another Alliance War video. This time it's NY718 against ACM2 and I'm going to be doing path 5 and then 3. I do not have too many fights in this war, so it's going to be a relatively quick video, but some of the fights will definitely be quite interesting. So this is the first fight, the only fight that I did last night, and then I left the rest of the fights for the day after, basically after I had some sleep. And this initial fight is quite simple. Now we do have Flow global node here once again, obviously, and Hood is a control character. Therefore I just need to be kind of careful not to let him get to his level 2s, even though he has power, focus and enhanced special 2. With Flow it can definitely be quite a bit tricky, so this is not as straightforward as a fight as you guys might think it is. And the base idea here is I have to parry the guy all the time to make sure those power gain buffs go away up until the point where I reach the level 2. Now that I have a level 2 power lock active on Hood, I can pretty much do whatever I want and the fight is well under control. But the time and the process to get to level 2 is probably the hardest part of these fights. So now that I launched my initial level 2, I'm like well positioned in the fight now. I do make a small slip up here, but luckily it's under the limbo, so I do get my health back as well. I can drop another level 2 over here, and yeah, the fight is well within the control at this point, and I pretty much just need another level 2 to finish off the fight. Now, as I said before, this was the only fight I did in the first day, and now I'm pretty much just going to bed, and that follow-up Dr. Doom is going to be waiting for me in the morning, and I will bring in She-Hulk for this fight. Now, She-Hulk is arguably probably one of the best answers. Now I'm just checking what else and have to do and where I'm going to go and which fight is going to be next for me. Just wanted to make sure that I'm aware of the nodes, because I typically do not do path 3 in section 2. And now I'm going to jump in and deal with this Dr. Doom. Now Dr. Doom is a quite common placement in this position because he's a really hard opponent, and especially if he's on Siphon. But even without the Siphon node, if he has like Mystic Dispersion, he goes unstoppable, is tricky to avoid special attacks, and there's just a lot to keep in mind. But She-Hulk is one of the best options for that fight, because he cannot get his aura of Hazaroth active if he has slow or petrify debuffs. So She-Hulk has petrify on her level 2, and she also has slow on her heavy attacks, plus she has class advantage, and her furies can amp up some decent damage and let me bait out special attacks quickly. So that is kind of exactly what I will end up doing now. Now that I applied some boost over here, kind of wish I didn't use the Alliance War boost, because I still didn't get like much use out of them, but that's on me because I got busy later on in the day. But yeah, so here we can see that we're going in with pretty stacked and boosted up She-Hulk. Initially, obviously, the fight is going to start out quite slow. Now, I don't really need to worry about any unstoppables so long as I manage my slow debuffs well, and the plan is quite simple here. I want to punish his level 1, land half a combo or so, and then just go in for a heavy attack, and I want to do that for every single cycle of level 1. And as long as Doom is cooperating with me, the fight is kind of under control for me. All that being said, I still need to manage to evade all of those level 1s consistently. So far, it all has been going on just fine. I think I'll mess up at the very last level 1, but all of the other ones are going to be very clean, nice and smooth evades. I also managed to keep up my fury buffs, which is like super helpful, obviously, because that increases my damage, and that also kind of like gets Dr. Doom throwing his special attacks much quicker. So this is kind of like very structurized fight for She-Hulk. Punish the level 1, do not finish my combo completely, then drop a heavy attack, and then again rinse and repeat. Now the finish, as I said, I did make a small mistake, but overall it didn't change too much, and that was at the very end. So the second fight is done, and yeah, that went quite well at this point. And now I'm moving on to section 2, which is part 3, where I only have a single opponent, and that opponent is going to be Hyperion. And Hyperion is going to be quite an easy guy to handle for Magic, and I have a very sneaky suspicion that Magic is probably going to be used a lot by me during this war season, largely due to the Flow Global. Obviously, she's making such a dominant comeback. And yeah, so Hyperion, and here is literally nothing special about this fight. And he has backup recovery, which I kind of have to keep in mind, but obviously if I can power lock him, then I don't really care about it. And other than that, I just need to make sure I can get to my level 2 before he reaches level 3. So as long as he drops a couple of special attacks, I'll be just fine. Also, those power gain buffs he has expiring are feeding my Mystic Dispersion, and that helps me quite a bit. And I have pretty much nothing to worry about. Now again, he get a chance to drop a level 1, which is perfectly fine. I'm just gonna go in for another level 2 of my own. At this point, he's already below 50%. And yeah, this is like as simple of an alliance war fight as it gets. And this is also the last kind of like easy fight, I guess you can say, because the next fight, I think I was meant to take down that Mysterio, but I got a bit busy and it still wasn't unlinked the last I checked, and basically the next time I checked, the Mysterio and Iron Man were down. So now I have to deal with some mini bosses and then the final boss. That's right, we're gonna have some boss action, and guess who's the boss? Once again, it's Mojo. And yeah, so I'm gonna boost up here because this is gonna be also the same go as I deal with the boss basically. So I'm putting on the big boy boosts. The war, we are leading the war, but still I did not want to kind of like fail on the boss, and that's gonna be quite tricky fight as well, to be fair. But yeah, so all of the big boosts are coming up and I'm kind of starting to run out of them, so they will have to find somebody else to deal with the next alliance or bosses up until such time as I can stock up with more boosts, I guess. But we'll see. So first fight is Magic, and this Magic is actually much trickier than it seems like. And without a power start 1 boost, because I was saving that one for the boss fight, this is a very, very tricky fight, and we can see that she consistently gets to trigger her limbo because of the flow. Obviously she's gaining power like crazy. I cannot stun her, and that by extension means that I cannot get rid of those power gain buffs, and that means she's pretty much just in a constant state of limbo thanks to the Flow Global, and that's crazy. But finally here towards the end I do manage to get to my level 2 slowly but surely, and as soon as I got to my level 2, the fight's pretty much set and done and dusted, and I don't have too much to worry about because I can just spam my level 2s, make sure she never reaches another full bar of power, and yeah, control the fight. So the fights typically are kind of yours to mess up with Magic if you have reached level 2. If you have reached level 2, the fight is well within control, and only times you end up dying is when you yourself make a mistake. So long as you play like carefully, these fights are pretty much always settled by your first level 2. And in this case, exactly the same case. As soon as I dropped my first level 2 with Magic, the fight was under control and she did just fine. Now next we are up against a Doctor Strange on this power gain node, but that's a very weird placement. Now even though Doctor Strange is a control character and therefore he benefits from flow, he doesn't gain any power the normal way. Therefore that 200% power gain node doesn't really help him much, and this is not a good placement in my book, because I can still attack him normally. In addition to all of that, I can parry him and get rid of the flow power gain buffs. So as we can see, this combination is not the kind of like best one. Now he does not throw his level 2, unfortunately, so at this point I kind of decide to just block bait a heavy attack and go for my own level 2 before he gets a chance to shoot off a level 3 or a level 2. But now that I have again reached my first level 2, the fight is in the control. There's nothing to kind of worry about. I am gaining back so much power in this case that I basically just go for back-to-back level 2s consistently all the time without problem, and yeah, down goes the Doctor Strange. Now this was the last mini boss that the boss got linked with. Therefore as soon as I dealt with the Doctor Strange, I could go in and take up the Mojo fight. Now, I did save my last advanced power boost for this Mojo fight because that makes it a lot easier. You can probably do it without as well, but just the beginning of the fight would be a lot more dodgier. Now, also, whilst I was preparing for this fight, I did change my mastery setup. I put on max recoil and I put on max double edge and did not touch liquid courage. I also disabled dexterity just to kind of be safe and avoid triggering that buff. And that is going to be the strategy. The first kind of like 80% of the fight is going to go perfect, but the finish of it is going to be dicey. We're going to see it that I nearly mess up. And this is exactly going to be the situations that I talk about. Once you reach your first level 2, the fight is under control and it's up to you to kind of like mess it up. Unfortunately, I will make some mess ups at the end and nearly will lose the fight, but we're gonna manage to squeeze through by like the skin of our teeth. But on the bright side, I'm definitely getting more and more comfortable dealing with this guy, and yeah, it's stressful fight obviously, but the more you do it, the more used to it you get, I guess, and that's about it. So the one thing that does still obviously mess me up, because I don't have dexterity mastery, I do need to make sure that I'm far enough in terms of distance. But here we can see that within a minute Mojo has gone down to like 24%, so we have done pretty much perfectly here, and I don't have too much to stress. Now I do want to bait out another heavy attack, go for a level 2, which I do. Unfortunately none of it crit, but here I end up eating heavy attack, but Limbo saves me, and I'm gonna eat up another heavy attack at some point. But yeah, that will pretty much do for the fight. It's about to be over after one more mistake here. Like, here we go, I ate a heavy attack, yikes, whoopsie. But yeah, either way, I will manage to finish out the fight in a second, and we are winning the war currently. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons, and I will catch you guys soon. See ya.